Good morning, everybody. This morning we're going to talk about kale, and I'm going to show you how to prepare kale so that you can incorporate kale and other dark greens into all your meals as much as possible. And this is the easiest, simplest way. The first thing you need to do when you buy kale, I like to buy it in the whole leaves that are still on the hard midribs, and as well collard greens. This is what collard greens looks like. But this middle section is a little bit hard, so we like to strip off the greens from the stem. I've had them soaking in water for a day to try and rehydrate, and I've just kept them on the counter like I do with my cilantro as well. Okay, so now that they've been hydrated, you grab the hard stem with one hand and hold this and strip. Okay, save these pieces because we're going to cut these up and cook these later like celery or broccoli stems. Okay, so we're going to strip, see how easy this is. Strip, doing the collard greens first, strip, whoops, strip. Okay, here's some collard greens. And here's what I do with the stems. Cut them really, really small, like little pieces of celery, with your knife. Okay. And here's what they look like. Okay, once we have our greens stripped, let me finish up these collard greens really quickly. Once we have these done, I have over here a pot of water that I have boiling, and we're going to put these small stems in the boiling water first so that they have a chance to get a little bit softer before we put the greens in. So once you get all these cut, we're going to dump these into our boiling water. Let me show you what I have here. I've got the boiling water, and you see I have a strainer pan in there. How can I get this strainer pan in there? And I'm going to dump the greens into that. Okay, let me go ahead and show you. I'll go dump these in real quick. And we're just going to put these greens in as well. Dump them in. Push them down with something so you don't burn yourself. It's not going to take long. These are collard greens. It's not going to take long for these things to get soft. And the reason I like to cook them is because you can eat a lot more of them if they're cooked and prepared in your fridge rather than eating them raw. Okay, we'll wait for these to get soft. And in the meantime, let me visit with you about hibiscus tea. I'll leave this here to start getting soft. Many of you have asked about hibiscus tea. It has a lot of great antioxidants and nutrients in it, and it's really good for high blood pressure. I just buy the hibiscus flowers at any Mexican market. I happen to get these at El Rancho in their produce section. They sell it in bulk, and all you need to do is put it in water, and you barely need to warm it because it starts turning the water red instantly. So that is a little bit about the hibiscus tea. Okay, let me go grab these greens and see if they're ready. Okay, not quite ready. I'm going to finish cutting up these for the next batch. And the way I use my cooked kale, after I've cooked it, I'm going to drain it really well, and then I'm going to use towels to squeeze out all the water because I don't want a lot of the added water in the foods I'm going to use the cooked kale for. So after I finish cooking it, then I'm going to drain it and then take a towel and squeeze all the water out. Once I've squeezed all the water out, I'm going to take the cooked kale over my cutting board, roll it up really small, and cut it into tiny slices, about 1/4 of an inch, because that will enable me to put it in different dishes without it being too noticeable. I can put it in any kind of enchiladas. I can put it in any kind of green salad I'm making, even though it's cooked, that's fine. I'll put it on top of or underneath beans, between beans and potatoes. You can really put kale just about in anything. I've even put it in my oatmeal in the mornings. So if you cook up your greens in advance and chop them up and keep them in the fridge in a jar, then you have them for use all the time. Let me show you what my jar looks like. I'm coming. You haven't lost me. I'm just trying to find it. Got lots of jars in here. And here it is right here. So this happens to be the kale that I cut up on the 17th. So you can see that it's really, really fine, and I squeezed out all the water, and you can just dump this and put this into anything you're eating, and you get all the great benefits of your dark leafy greens. It's these dark leafy greens that will heal your endothelial cells and make them start producing the nitrous oxide that we all need to open up our arteries and get good blood flow. Dr. Esselstyn, he recommends 6 servings a day of dark leafy greens to heal and reverse his heart disease patients. So if it can heal and reverse heart disease, think of what it can do for those of us who may not have heart disease. Although, if you've been eating the standard American diet like most of us have all of our life, we pretty much have heart disease after we graduate from high school. The basics are already there for us. So we all need to be eating our healthy dark greens, and this is an easy way to get them in when you boil them and cook them. Okay, I'm going to go see if my collard greens are ready yet. I apologize, this is not very timely, but we're going to try it. Okay. I'm going to cut off while I drain it.